Hello everyone. We both know that artificial intelligence has been a popular topic in recent years. However, do we really know about this topic? That's why I'm here today. In the following presentation, I will introduce the history of the artificial intelligence, and also I will explain how they work, and I will introduce some of the newest applications to you. And of course, we will talk about its negative sides and talk about some problems we might have if we make AI to manage our life in the future. So to begin with, let's talk about the history. The earliest artificial intelligence can be traced, but only in imagination, can be traced back to ancient Greek. And in a Homeric epic, there is also a bronze-made robot named Talos. And yes, it is the earliest artificial intelligence that human imagined that we can find. So the time flies to 1950. There is a famous engineer called Turing, and he comes up with a test called imitation game. How does this game work? Let me explain. But before I explain it, let's talk about how what this game can test, what kind of ability of the robot. It can test the thinking ability of the robot by measuring how the robot responds to humans' questions. So he comes up with this. He makes one people, the tester, sitting here. And then here are two rooms. In the room A, there is a computer. And in the room B, there is a real human. And the communication between A and B cannot communicate with each other, but only through A and C, and the B and C. And the communication between these two sides can only use paper and pen. And yes, paper and pen, and it should be typed down. So we don't know that if this paper is from human or is from a computer. And then the C will try to figure out which room is the human and which room is the computer. If the computer can mimic a human and can be just like if C cannot guess out the computer is it is a computer or it is a human, then the computer has the thinking ability because it has to respond C's question, and the C's questions will try to guess A and B. But however, there's many people think this test didn't work because there is a theory called strong AI and the weak AI. The strong AI have thoughts and emotions, so they will not give standard answers to any questions. But the weak AI will only have preset answers. If it's hard to imagine, let's take a parrot as an example. If we ask parrots a question like, "Hey, how are you doing today?" And the parrot say, "Oh, I'm fine, thank you," then it's a weak AI. But if it is a strong AI, it might have thoughts and emotion. So it might say, "Oh, why don't you ask me like that?" Something like this. And in 1956, there is a famous workshop named Dartmouth Workshop. And it was held by 4 engineers. These 4. And they invite 10 other engineers to attend the workshop. And they discuss, this is the first time humans discuss artificial intelligence as a subject in a workshop. So this year was called by the first year of AI from now. And then, because of the workshop, many products about artificial intelligence begin to start. So, for example, they try to invent a general problem solver, and its abbreviation is GPS. I don't know why. But however, of course, it ended up failure because there is too many answers. There might be too many calculations needed for one even the most simple questions. So the AI comes from its first winter. However, thanks to the Moore's law, every 2 years the transistors on the chip will increase by double. So it powers up the calculation ability of the computer. So it powers up the calculation ability of the computer. So more AI products about AI can be produced. So when it comes to 1980, the machine learning is rising. But before I continue, I want to talk about the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning and deep learning. Basically, it's just like machine learning is just like one part of the artificial intelligence, and deep learning is also a small part of machine learning. And then I will just introduce the history while introducing how they work. So in 1980, machine learning is rising, and this is how they work. First, they input a data, and then the machine will analyze certain features of it, and then they will build a model, and finally they will use the model to predict. Let's take these cute puppies as an example. First, you input this image to the computer, and then there should be a human tell the computer that this is a dog, and told the machine that there is some certain features of the dog, like fluffy ears and a cute nose. And then after the machine builds the model every dog has a fluffy ear and a cute nose, they can use this model to predict if this is a dog puppy or not. And machine learning has used in many different ways. For example, they will help us identify which is junk mail and which is not, and also about the image identification and the voice identifier, like Siri. And when it comes to 2006, there's deep learning is rising. The first rules are the progress are almost the same, but this time computer will organize the features themselves, so they can create and find the rules by themselves. We don't have to help the computers to tell them, this is dog or this is cat or not. They will find the coordination and order between those images. So they can also build a model and predict an image if they have to, after building a model. And this is a graph that organizes the difference between them. You can see that the biggest difference is between the feature extraction here, which means we see the feature and organize them. And right now I want to talk about some newest applications on the AI. First, this is the news happens in Denmark recently. There is several artists that helped us make a synthetic party. This is the party's name. And what's the most impressive part is their chairman is a chatbot. Yes, it's a chatbot. It's hard to imagine, but this crazy artist just do that. And the chatbot's name, Lars. However, Lars cannot join the election or becoming some president because it is an AI. We can't let human do. We can't let citizens to elect it. However, it offers examples for maybe we can do this in the future. And secondly, let's look at these two pictures. Can you believe if I tell you these are made by AIs? So there are several AI image generations app in the internet now. For example, the first, disco diffusion. This is one of the most convenient one because we can generate images with just a Google account and you didn't have to prepare anything. You just key in some keywords and it will boom, pictures will show up. And a DALL-E 2, this you need to have a phone number, but I don't have it, so you can't. So, but however, this is a newest trending one, and I've heard it is very good at painting too. And the Midjourney, this is also a very good AI painted app. However, it needs to submit an application to the company in order to use it. And finally, the Stable Boost. You just have to enter the website and key some keywords, and it will show you. And this is a picture that I use Stable Boost to produce. This is the keywords I made, just like neon, rainy days, city nights, like in real Hong Kong, and you will generate something like this. So we can see the infinite potential an AI has to produce something in like art. So finally, I want to talk about some problems about AI. First, the problems of copyright. So we both know that AI can produce many beautiful artworks now. However, who should own the artworks, or who can change the artworks? Is the AI or AI's owner, or the users, or AI's creator? There's literally no laws to rule this chaos right now. So there is a lot of discussion about this. And second, who should take the responsibility if bad things happen? Of course, there's no laws about it now. However, if we can't just limit the potential of AI just because we're scared if it will break something. Yes. And will people lose their jobs due to AI? I have to say, of course, it will happen someday, but not so fast. Because according to Amara's law, we tend to overestimate the effects of a technology in the short run and underestimate the effects in the long run. So, which means people often think that, oh, this AI will take my job away in a very fast time. However, it is what AI is horrible is about the future, not the present. And also about the trolley problem. If there is a problem according to moral, for example, if there is a switch here, if you turn on it, it will kill 1 people, but if you do nothing, it will kill 5 people. And how can you make a decision? AI cannot make any decision like this because they don't have the ability, at least now, don't have the ability to decide moral problems. So will human one day be ruled by AI? Maybe, but not yet, not that fast. Because there are many rules created on the internet to try to limit AI. For example, AI is not allowed to attack human or by inaction allow a human to come to harm. But if starting a warfare can rescue many people, will the AI start a warfare? So that is a thing that we can think about it. But if we can manage AI and try not let them to do something like starting a warfare, we don't have to scare to be ruled by AI. So at the end of the presentation, I bring some jokes about programming. 0, every list should begin from 0, because in programming world, the array will begin with 0 instead of 1. Second, 2 is equal to 10 sometimes, because 10 can also mean 2 in the binary. And the second, Halloween is equals to Christmas. Do you know why? let's write down its dates, October 31st and December 25th. And then we use this OCT 31 and the DEC 25. And in programming's world, OCT also means 八进位, and the DEC also means 十进位. So we can see. So it ended up both are 25. So problem solved. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.